Hey, it's Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what we're talking about is tarpon fishing with swim baits. If you've never used a swim bait, you should probably pick some up, especially if you're kind of lazy like I am fishing. It's one of those baits you basically pitch it out there, reel it back in, and it catches fish. So that's a wonderful kind of lure to use. You know, most lures you use to get any fish, you're gonna have to do different things, bounce it off the bottom, twitch it sideways, walk the dog, whatever you gotta do. But you gotta actually put some effort and technique into it. A swim bait is one of those that you really just don't have to do that, you know. A great thing about swim baits too is you can cover the entire water column. You know, you don't know where tarpon are gonna be. Sometimes they're hitting everything on top, sometimes they're on the bottom, sometimes they're somewhere in the middle. So it's a great bait to find out where the tarpon are. So you could be in 30 feet of water and use a swim bait if the tarpon are on the bottom, you know, or right on top. It just depends. All you gotta do is increase the weight of the swim bait that you have, and you can find out where the fish are. So it's a really easy one to use, and that's why, you know, they're a good one to have. You can catch tarpon off the beach, you can catch tarpon in the inlets, you can catch tarpon under bridges, you can catch tarpon out on the grass flats, all with swim baits, and I'm telling you, it's literally this easy. Oh, everyone. It's that easy. You don't have to do anything. I mean, now granted, if every now and again you get a twitch or two, you probably catch more fish. But you don't have to, is my point. You know, when you're fishing with jigs or something, you got to make your own action. Soft plastic swim baits make their own action. They put their own low frequency vibrations that these predatory fish just love, and it just got to come over and see what it is and get a piece of it. But let's just talk about some of it. Okay, cover the entire water column. Super easy to use. All right, well, they're relatively cheap too. Let me just go ahead and show you some of them that I like. All right, this first one is a Berkley power bait. And these are basically $1 a piece. What's great about them is they're already rigged. They're already rigged up, so they're already weighted, and they already have a hook. They're perfect. They come in different sizes. You know, I like these more natural ones. Right now, where I'm at, we have a lot of white baits that are 3-4 inches long. You know, the threadfin herring, the scaled sardines, you know, are coming through right now. And, you know, they look just like them. So you don't do anything. Here's a smaller version. Rookie mistake I made. I just threw it in one day when I was done with it, and some of my darker colored baits, because normally they're not purple like this. But I think this will work fine when the water's dirty. I like using darker things when the water's dirty anyways. You know, my favorite swim baits, you know, I mean, I call any soft plastic that makes its own action a swim bait, because you don't have to do anything, you just cast and reel. So my favorite swim baits, if you've seen any of my videos, are these. I fish with this lure, I don't know, 90% of the time. These are DOA cows. They're 3-inch paddle tail shad. I like a dark one for when the water's murky. And here's a lighter version one. This one's glow. I like the glow or the white when the water's more clear. You just put an 1/8 ounce jig head, 1/4 ounce jig head, and these things will just catch crazy fish. You can catch tarpon, snook, redfish, trout, and basically whatever you want. You fish it anywhere, however you want. But you know, the most popular two swim baits are going to be a paddle tail swim bait or a curly tail swim bait. I personally like paddle tails better because they put out more of those vibrations that I want. You know, when you're fishing for tarpon are weird. That's probably why they're one of my favorites. I mean, they're just so finicky. Some days you could probably throw out a banana peel on a hook and catch them. And then other days you could have the perfect live bait and they won't even look at it. So some days they're on, some days they're off, whatever. But these are great lures to catch them wherever they are in a water column. Doesn't matter if they're in the bottom of the inlet or if they're in the upper part of the water column. It really doesn't matter. You can target them with these baits just by increasing or decreasing your weight, the weight of the actual of the lure itself. So I wanted to show you a difference in some of these things, so you just kind of have it in your head. You know, I have a lot of different baits that I like to use. Now this is a DOA Terrorize. It's called the big ones. This is such a good tarpon bait. I actually will just, when I'm paddling around, I will troll this behind my kayak with this bobber here, and that's all I'll do. This thing will just be going in the water like this, and you'd be surprised how many tarpon will hit this thing. Doing nothing. It's not even giving you a bunch of action. Its tail doesn't do anything. It basically moves just like this in the water. No action whatsoever, and they'll hit this. I mean, first thing in the morning and the evening. I've never actually caught any during the middle of the day with that. But this is one, this is just a great soft plastic, but I fish this either like this or kind of bouncing it on the bottom is the way I fish this lure right here. Okay? But really doesn't have its own action. Give you another example. Something that has a tail like this. See? There's not a lot of action, not a lot of vibrations going to come out of this. This is a DOA 5.5-inch jerk bait. One of my favorite lures, but you got to actually put the effort in to catch fish with it. So the tarpon like this, the snook like this. But instead of just going like this, like you would with a swim bait, this one you're like, pitch it out, twitch, twitch, pause, let it sink, reel, twitch, twitch, pause, let it sink, reel. I mean, it's definitely not a lazy man's lure to use because it actually takes you some effort to use something like that. And there's all kinds of different swim baits. Now, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. These are just what I use. Here's one called Charlie's. Same deal, got a little longer tail, gives you a lot more action. This is great, another great swim bait. You can rig this weedless, you can just put a jig head on it, do whatever you want, and just cast it out and just swim it back to you. I mean, that is what's so great about these swim baits. And these tarpon just crush them. I mean, everything really crushes them. Snook, redfish, like I was saying, everything. You can bluefish, whatever you want to catch, you can catch on a swim bait. And really the only thought and effort you got to put into it is more like, you know, you cast it out and you reel kind of slow. I usually start slow and speed it up. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. But, you know, see how things are going. With slow, no hits, pitch it out again, go a little faster. Try that a few times, no hits, pitch it out again, go faster. It just, all you really have to do is vary your retrieve. You don't need to do any techniques. There's nothing to it. I mean, that's what's so great about a swim bait. And it basically looks right and feels right to the predatory fish you're after. It looks just like a fish. It moves just like a fish, and it puts out vibrations like a wounded fish because it's not as hydrodynamic as a real fish would be. So I'm telling you, these are great baits. Doesn't matter where you're targeting your tarpon, off the beach, in the inlet, on the grass flats, any channel, whatever. Doesn't matter where they are in the water column. You can use a swim bait and catch tarpon. Just try them if you haven't tried them. I'm telling you, you're going to like it. You'll probably catch some more fish. Go to our website, fishyourassoff.com. Go to the pro tips page. I mean, there's 100 and something articles there, all about catching fish. Different fish, tarpon, snook, whatever. Go check it out. There's a lot more information there. I think that's about it for today. So until next time, we'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.